Have you ever stood near someone and felt an uneasiness you couldn't name? No words were spoken. Nothing obvious happened. Yet something in you reacted. Subtle, immediate, undeniable. It's as if your body knew a secret your mind hadn't caught up to. Your heartbeat shifts, your breathing changes, your attention sharpens. You sense tension, but you can't explain it. We often dismiss it, tell ourselves we're imagining things. But what if that flicker of discomfort isn't a mistake? What if it's the body whispering before the mind begins to speak? Carl Jung once suggested that what we call intuition is the unconscious sending messages through sensation, not mystical, simply human. A natural intelligence that lives below thought, alert, and ancient. You feel it because your body is always listening. It reads what your eyes overlook, what your ears filter out. It notices patterns before they form words. So when that strange feeling rises, that sudden shift in comfort, that quiet alertness, pause for a moment. Something unseen may already be speaking to you. Your body is not just a vessel. It's an instrument that listens. While your mind analyzes and compares, your body absorbs and reacts. It pays attention to everything: the rhythm of someone's voice, the spacing between words, the pace of movement, the way a room feels when a new person enters. None of it is conscious, yet all of it registers. Carl Jung often suggested that perception begins in places we don't yet see. He understood that the body and the unconscious are closely linked. The body senses, the unconscious interprets, and the conscious mind receives the final, filtered version. But the original message often arrives as a feeling, subtle, physical, wordless. You've experienced it many times: the slight tightening in your stomach, the warmth that spreads through your chest when someone feels safe, the pulse that quickens when something feels uncertain. These are not random fluctuations. They are data. The body's way of saying, "I've noticed something. Pay attention." The body is ancient in its awareness. Long before speech, before thought, it learned to survive by reading signals. Even now, in the quiet hum of daily life, that ancient awareness remains active. It scans constantly, measuring tone, movement, rhythm, space. It listens to pauses in speech, to tension behind smiles, to what isn't said. And when something doesn't match, when what's shown and what's felt don't align, the body reacts instantly. You might feel restless. You might cross your arms without realizing it. You might lean back, hesitate, or suddenly grow quiet. These are not coincidences. They are responses, instinctive adjustments to subtle information. The body speaks in sensations, not sentences. It doesn't explain. It signals. That's why so many people overlook it. We're trained to trust what can be reasoned, to look for proof, to wait for evidence. But while the mind debates, the body has already made its judgment. Jung would say that ignoring these sensations cuts us off from half of our intelligence. He saw the unconscious as a vast system designed to protect and guide awareness. When your body signals discomfort, it may not be warning you of danger. It might simply be asking for awareness. Something in the interaction, the tone, or the environment has stirred a memory, a pattern, a recognition too deep for words. The body feels it first. The mind tries to explain it later. Imagine the body as a silent observer standing beside you. It doesn't argue. It doesn't reason. It only feels. Every movement, every sound, every small shift in energy passes through it. When something resonates, you feel calm. When something clashes, you feel tension. That contrast is your inner compass working quietly in the background. This intelligence isn't mystical. It's practical. It's how we navigate a world full of signals and contradictions. When we learn to notice the body's first response, to trust that flicker of awareness instead of burying it under explanation, we reconnect with a deeper form of perception. Not emotional, not logical, simply direct. Your body isn't guessing. It's remembering. It's recognizing. It's responding. And when it whispers, through a shiver, a pause, a sudden stillness, it's not random noise. It's the echo of understanding, moving upward from the depths of awareness. That is the body's silent intelligence, a quiet, continuous dialogue between the seen and the unseen, between what you think and what you already know. Carl Jung believed that most of what we experience doesn't begin in conscious thought. It begins much deeper, beneath language, beneath logic, in a quiet part of the mind he called the unconscious. This realm, he said, is always awake. It listens, records, and reacts to everything around us, even when we believe we're not paying attention. The unconscious is not a shadowy myth. It's a living system of perception, memory, and intuition, a kind of hidden intelligence that runs parallel to our everyday awareness. While your conscious mind focuses on a conversation, your unconscious is scanning everything else. The tone of voice, the flicker in someone's eyes, the faint hesitation before they speak. It notices these details not as judgments, but as information. And when it detects something inconsistent, something that doesn't fit, it sends a message upward. But that message doesn't come in words. It arrives as a feeling, a shift in mood, a sudden discomfort that makes you step back without knowing why. This is the language of the unconscious. Quiet, symbolic, embodied. Your body becomes its voice. Jung understood that the unconscious is not trying to confuse you. It's trying to communicate what the rational mind cannot yet process. The trouble is, the conscious mind wants clarity, reason, proof. It wants to explain everything immediately, but the unconscious speaks in sensations and impressions, in whispers, not explanations. So we dismiss it. We call it overreacting, imagining, or being too sensitive. Yet the body knows better. It trusts what it feels long before the mind agrees. This is why you might sense tension in a room that looks perfectly fine, or feel calm around someone you've just met without knowing why. Your unconscious has already gathered its evidence. Your body simply delivers the verdict. Jung once suggested that the unconscious isn't separate from us. It is us, the part that works beneath awareness, guiding, warning, protecting. It draws from everything we've seen, everything we've felt, everything we've forgotten. When you feel uneasy around someone, it might be because something in their tone or posture resembles a pattern buried deep in memory. A pattern your conscious mind no longer recalls, but your unconscious instantly recognizes. The unconscious also carries a vast network of human knowledge. Patterns of behavior, emotional signals, and silent rules that humanity has learned over time. It's like a radar that never sleeps, scanning every moment for meaning. When it senses dissonance, when something doesn't align with truth or safety, it triggers the body first, not the mind. That flutter in your chest, that stillness in your breath, those are its fingerprints. So when Jung said the unconscious speaks first, he meant this: what you call intuition is not a mystery. It's communication. It's the deep self sending signals through the body's language. It's the ancient mind rising to meet the modern one. And when you ignore that signal, when you override it with logic, you silence the oldest part of your intelligence. You dismiss the quiet, unseen voice that has been guiding you since before you had words. The unconscious does not shout. It nudges. It whispers. it waits. And in that moment when you feel something before you can explain it, when your body reacts and your mind scrambles to keep up, that's not confusion. That's your deeper self speaking first. The question is not whether it's real. The question is, are you listening? Carl Jung once said that what we notice in others often reveals what lies unacknowledged within ourselves. He called this the process of projection, not as accusation, but as discovery. We don't see people as they are. We see them through the filter of everything we've experienced, everything we've hidden, and everything we've yet to understand. When you feel discomfort around someone for no clear reason, it might not be about them at all. It might be a reflection, something in them quietly awakening a part of you that has been waiting to be seen. A forgotten emotion, a quality you've pushed aside, a truth you've kept beneath the surface. The unconscious uses other people as mirrors, not to punish, but to show. You meet yourself in every reaction, every irritation, every unexpected pull toward or away from another person. The body feels it first. It recognizes the echo before the mind finds the source. And that uneasy feeling, it may be the signal that a hidden part of you is being touched. Jung believed that we all carry what he called the shadow, the aspects of ourselves we've denied, minimized, or buried because they didn't fit the image we wanted to hold. These parts don't disappear. They wait beneath awareness, influencing our choices, shaping our perceptions. And when someone mirrors one of those hidden traits, through their behavior, their attitude, or simply their presence, our body reacts before we can explain why. You might feel irritation toward someone who expresses confidence you've never allowed yourself to show. You might feel uneasy around calmness if you've learned to survive through control. The body senses this friction instantly, because it knows when something within you is being reflected, even if it doesn't yet know what. The mirror effect is rarely comfortable. It's not meant to be. It's the unconscious trying to restore balance, to bring into light what has lived too long in shadow. This is not judgment. It's recognition. When your body tightens around certain people, it's not always because they're unsafe. Sometimes it's because they reflect something powerful and unresolved, something your mind has not yet made peace with. Jung taught that awareness begins when we stop projecting and start observing. When instead of asking, "Why do they make me feel this way?" we ask, "What in me is responding?" That single question shifts everything. It transforms discomfort into information. It turns judgment into understanding. And slowly, the mirror becomes a teacher. Your body participates in this teaching. Every small reaction, every pulse of tension, every shift in breathing marks the border between what is known and what is hidden. By noticing those reactions without rushing to blame or justify, you begin to see what your unconscious has been trying to show you all along. Sometimes the people who unsettle you the most are the ones who reveal the most about who you are. Not because they threaten you, but because they reflect the parts of you waiting to return home. So when you find yourself uneasy for no clear reason, pause before you look outward for explanations. Look inward instead. Ask your body what it recognizes. Ask your mind what it resists. Ask your heart what it remembers. The answers may not come in words. They may come as calmness, a shift in breath, or the sudden easing of tension. The body's quiet way of saying, "You've finally seen what I've been trying to show you." There is a brief and delicate moment that happens before your mind begins to explain what you feel. It's the space between sensation and interpretation, a flicker of awareness before thought takes over. That pause is where the truth often hides. When you encounter someone and your body reacts, your breath shortens, your shoulders tense, your pulse shifts. Your first instinct is to ask why. The mind rushes in, eager to translate, to organize, to explain away the unknown. But in that instant, your body already knows. It has delivered its message. And if you fill the silence too quickly, you drown it out. Carl Jung understood this gap. He believed that meaning reveals itself not in the noise of analysis, but in the stillness of attention. He often warned that most people live entirely in their heads, disconnected from the signals rising within them. We want answers, yet the answers are already arriving, through sensation, not speech. So what happens if you simply pause? Not to fix the feeling, not to judge it, but to notice it. You might discover that the discomfort changes shape. You might feel it move, from the chest to the throat, from the stomach to the skin. The body, when observed, begins to communicate more clearly. Its language is movement, pressure, temperature, rhythm. Every shift carries information. This pause is not hesitation, it's awareness. It's the point where unconscious perception becomes conscious understanding. If you stay long enough in that quiet space, something begins to emerge. You may not find words right away, but you'll sense direction. The unease might tell you, "This person isn't right for you right now." Or it might whisper, "There's something here you're meant to see about yourself." The message depends on what part of you is speaking. The challenge is patience. We live in a world that values speed, certainty, and control. Pausing feels unnatural, almost threatening. But Jung believed that inner growth requires waiting. That wisdom only comes when the conscious mind learns to listen instead of lead. The pause allows the unconscious to rise and be heard. In that stillness, notice the difference between fear and intuition. Fear feels chaotic. It pushes you to react. Intuition feels grounded, steady, even when it warns. One drains you, the other clarifies you. You can only tell the difference when you give the body a moment to finish speaking before the mind interrupts. Try this. When that sudden discomfort appears, resist the urge to move away from it. Don't speak, don't analyze. Just breathe and observe. Let the mind rest for a moment. You might find that what once felt threatening begins to unfold into understanding. The body isn't trying to alarm you, it's trying to inform you. Jung might say this is how the unconscious teaches, by guiding you through experience rather than explanation. It doesn't hand you answers. It asks you to stay, to hold your attention steady until the meaning reveals itself on its own. That pause before the thought is small, but powerful. It's where instinct becomes insight. It's the point at which the unseen begins to take shape. So next time your body reacts before your mind does, don't rush to smother it with reasons. Let it breathe, because in that breath, in that fraction of stillness, the unconscious steps forward, and what was once confusion becomes clarity. To trust the signal is to honor the oldest intelligence you have. It's not about superstition, and it's not about fear. It's about respect. Respect for the quiet communication between your body and your mind. Carl Jung believed that true awareness begins when we stop treating the unconscious as a stranger. When we learn to trust its language, life begins to unfold with a different kind of clarity. Trust does not mean blind belief. It means listening before dismissing, noticing before explaining. It means giving value to the signals that rise from within you, the ones that appear as subtle tension, warmth, alertness, or calm. Your body is a living compass, and intuition is the way it points. For most of us, the habit is to override these sensations. We tell ourselves to be polite, to be rational, to ignore what can't be proven. We silence the whisper and follow logic instead, but logic only knows what it's been taught. The unconscious knows what it's observed. everything, always beneath the surface. Jung once said that the mind seeks meaning, but the body knows truth. That's why your first physical reaction often reveals more than your thoughts ever will. It's not about predicting the future or reading people's minds. It's about recognizing alignment and dissonance. Your body tells you when something fits and when something doesn't. When it relaxes, it's signaling trust. When it contracts, it's signaling caution. And the more you learn to recognize these shifts, the clearer your inner map becomes. Trusting the signal doesn't mean acting on every emotion. It means discerning the difference between emotion and intuition. Emotion reacts to memory. Intuition responds to the present. Emotion speaks loudly, but fades quickly. Intuition is quieter, but it stays. When you feel something that remains steady, even when your thoughts try to dismiss it, that's usually the signal worth listening to. The practice is simple, though not easy. Pause. Notice. Name what you feel without trying to fix it. Let your awareness rest in the sensation instead of the story. Your body is processing information the mind hasn't reached yet. Give it time to finish its work. In the modern world, we're taught to trust evidence above instinct. But evidence is often what the body sensed long before we could articulate it. Jung would argue that intuition is not the opposite of reason. It is reason's beginning. It's the first spark of knowing that precedes thought. To ignore it is to ignore the foundation of understanding itself. Over time, as you practice listening, something changes. You begin to notice subtle patterns. You sense when a decision feels heavy or light, forced or natural. You can feel the quiet yes that comes with alignment and the subtle no that comes with unease. This sensitivity doesn't make you fragile. It makes you press. It connects you to a rhythm of awareness that most people have forgotten. Trusting the signal also means accepting that you won't always have proof right away. Sometimes your body knows before life confirms it. Sometimes the meaning appears days or weeks later, and you realize that first feeling was right all along. That's not coincidence. It's communication. The unconscious speaks through timing, through intuition, through the subtle choreography of awareness that guides you when you least expect it. So the next time you sense something before you can name it, don't rush to reason it away. Pause and listen. You're not being paranoid. You're being perceptive. Your body is speaking in the language of knowing, and that language has protected humanity longer than logic ever has. Jung might say this is what it means to live consciously, not to think more, but to feel more intelligently. To allow the unseen mind and the visible one to work together. To let instinct and reason become allies instead of opposites. When you trust the signal, you begin to move through the world differently. Less reactive, more aware. Less certain, but more attuned. And in that quiet awareness, you find something unexpected. A calm that comes not from control, but from connection. Because when you trust what your body already knows, you are no longer chasing clarity. You are living it. Long before thought begins, the body speaks. It whispers through stillness, through breath, through the quiet pull of intuition. Carl Jung believed that this is how the unconscious guides us, softly, through signals we rarely honor. You don't have to search for this wisdom. You already carry it. It lives in the spaces between words, in the pauses you almost ignore. So when something inside you stirs without reason, don't silence it. Listen. That quiet voice beneath reason has never been wrong.